right, Matt? Main event of the weekend. This is better than Askren Maya. This is way better than Frank Mir and Roy Nelson. We have the end of our welterweight Grand Prix from Uncasville, Connecticut. The $1 million is on the line. There's going to be Le Chemin du Roi just flying everywhere. And if Douglas Lima wins, he's not going to drink a sip of that stuff. Get that out of here, 50 Cent. You've got the champ, Rory MacDonald, taking on the former champ, Douglas Lima. Matt, we remember how great their first fight was.
Oh,
it was so much fun to watch. But since then, these guys have gone on different paths. I mean, Douglas Lima, of course, lost his belt in that fight, but he just keeps on winning. Rory MacDonald, not so much. I mean, he's got a draw peppered in there.
So here's the thing. When we look at both guys' side of the bracket, they did this on purpose. Of course, everyone assumed that Rory MacDonald was going to fight Douglas Lima in the finals. It was going to be this great big fight, just like the first one was. It was going to be super entertaining. They've had, like you said, very different careers since then. Douglas Lima had the harder side of the bracket because Rory MacDonald, when you look at it, and this is no disrespect to either guy, he fought John Fitch, who's about 73 years old, and he fought Neiman Gracie, who's still very young in his career. And when you look at the results, he had a draw with John Fitch, and he didn't look good at all in that fight. And he looked a little bit more like the regular Rory MacDonald in the Neiman Gracie fight, but he won a 48-47 decision in that, and it wasn't regular Rory MacDonald.
And Matt, this is a Rory MacDonald that after he won the belt from Douglas Lima, he was going to go up and he was going to beat Gegard Mousasi and he was going to be a double champ. And then he absolutely laid an egg against Gegard Mousasi. I mean, he just went for lazy shots. He went for that lazy takedown that ended up being his detriment. Yeah, the old Gegard hammer fist.
I don't think you're telling the story all that accurately.
It didn't go well. And then he's got a draw, and then he's got the win over Gracie, which wasn't all that special. No. Whereas Douglas Lima goes out there, finishes Koreshkov, which I picked Koreshkov to win, and that was a trilogy fight. And then against MVP, he had a home run against Michael Venom Page's face when he went to get up off a check leg kick. So, Matt, the odds in this one, if you have a quick look at them, plus 145 for your champ.
I'm going to say something mildly controversial.
Minus 170 Lima.
Scott Coker tweeted this out the other day, and I think if Lima wins, it'll be accurate. If Douglas Lima wins this fight, he's the best welterweight on planet Earth.
I saw that. It'd be tough to say no. It's hard to disagree. And Matt, we're going to let the time run over. We're going to focus a lot more on this fight. This is the biggest welterweight fight of this year. This is bigger than Usman-Covington. And listen, you look at that fight, I would pick Usman to beat Covington. Marketing-wise, I think Usman's a bigger star than Covington. Covington doesn't have a drawing power. Douglas Lima, you insert him into the UFC, and listen, I've said a lot of dumb stuff in my life. I said Craig White was going to have an impact in the UFC's welterweight division. But Douglas Lima, honest to goodness, you could fit this guy into the top 10. Throw him in there.
Top 5.
Put him in there in a fight against Damian Maia. Woodley. Put him in there in a fight against Ben Askren. Wins those fights. Put him in there against Tyron Woodley. I honest to goodness, and again,
he kicks him nonstop.
Big Tyron Woodley guy. Like what he brings to the table. I think Douglas Lima beats him. Douglas Lima is so good right now, and he's been on such a tear. Even his brother. Look at the strides he's been able to make. Look at Diego Lima.
Yeah, who's not Douglas at all. But it's really impressive because when you look at what Douglas Lima does well. Oh, let's stand on the feet. Douglas Lima has dynamite in his hands and his legs.
The UFC broadcast actually acknowledged him when Diego Lima walked out at UFC 243 in Melbourne against Luke Jumo. They said, oh, look, it's Douglas Lima, one of the best welterweights out there. Yeah, because he is. And I don't know if he's the best welterweight in the world, but he's arguably top 5, arguably top 3 in the world. Seriously.
He's so good. I think he's going to... This is going to be so aggressive, but I'm just going to say it. He's going to body Rory MacDonald this weekend. Rory MacDonald hasn't been the same. He doesn't have the killer instinct. We don't need to get into why he doesn't have the killer instinct, but I'm sure if you're watching this, you're very familiar with the X's and O's and the background of Rory MacDonald. But Douglas Lima, he's going to beat him on the feet. He's got better jiu-jitsu than him. The only thing that Rory MacDonald did that had success in the first fight, he had good takedowns, and he was able to stay on top. But I feel like with Douglas Lima, if you look at that fight compared to the Koreshkov fight, which was the next one after, all of the problems that he had in the first Rory fight, he solved them instantly against Koreshkov. So I just feel like he's the more complete martial artist at this point, and we just don't know where Rory MacDonald's head's at.
It's a weird one to try and predict because you go off of Lima's last 2 where he looked amazing. You offer Rory's last 3. Hasn't looked good, and even in the Gracie fight, when he got that top position, it was just lazy. It was kind of sloppy. He threw some shots in there, and I mean, he won the fight, but it wasn't like, oh man, this guy's an uber champion. You got to kind of you're not going to find a lot of people watching this fight. They're going to be from British Columbia that are watching this for Rory MacDonald, or maybe Montreal. But I honestly, I mean, it kind of sucks because Rory MacDonald went into Bellator with such a buzz.
Such a long video.
Yeah, listen, I understand that, you know, Bellator got some of these guys to make an impact, like your Lorenz Larkins, your Ryan Baders. Rory MacDonald did that initially, but since then it's just been a bit of a drop-off. So
it's a lot of damage to his career.
If MacDonald wins, kudos to him, but I'm going to pick Lima here.
By TKO round 1 or 2.
We went 5 minutes on this one, but listen, 5-minute rounds, it's what you do. You got to throw an audible out there, and this is an awesome fight. This is the fight of the weekend for us at Fight Night Picks. But don't forget, you can check out our Bellator 231, 232, and UFC Singapore 2-minute predictions here on YouTube. Matt, let's get into it.